All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chig. That's like my third stream today. I'm working today. A good Friday to everybody. And you are through to the Combat Show. Joining me as always are my two co-hosts in crime. First of all, say hello to the people. This Irish drinking, swiggling, Khabib loving, dominance MMA supporting young man. Say hello to the people. Hola.
What's happening? Salute. Thank you everyone for joining us on the show. Yeah, let's talk about it.
And alternatively, his nemesis, the man that you don't mention the W word around or everything explodes. And that is William.
Hello.
Say
What
hello to the
you
people.
don't mention win around me. You don't want to win around me. Okay.
We don't yeah, we don't need to mention win around it. That's all right. No problem.
No winning. No winning. Okay.
I had
So
no
good.
winner. Uh, guys, as you come in, please do slap a like on the video. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. This show's going to work a little differently to how it normally works because for those of you who aren't aware, there isn't actually a UFC show this week. So what we're going to do is quickly do a brief review of last week's show and obviously talk about who won what in terms of bonuses like we normally would. And then we're going to touch on a number of talking points and actually get you guys involved on a few talking points. So make sure you stick around. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Share the show around. I see the numbers growing. I see the numbers growing. So keep sharing the show around, especially if you're watching on Periscope. Just quickly do me a favor. Just quickly hit that retweet button, and that will really help. And also, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you just share the show around and wherever you can. It all helps us as we are on our quest to grow the show. All right. In the meantime, I will hand over to Ola, who will basically quarterback the show. So Ola,
Yeah,
go ahead, my brother.
thank you, fam. Thank you. One thing that before we go on, one thing that I've not had the opportunity to do, since the passing of our dear friend, um, we know what it means to the football community. Claude, fine man. I had the privilege and honor of jamming with the brother, been to Bear games with him, back to the pub, get what I mean. We just talk about game all night. Ride on trains, away games. I mean, this guy loved Arsenal, and there's not going to be another one like him. He's a special man. Is going to be really missed. And I just want to raise a glass to Claude. R.I.P. brother. Sleep well, and you know we'll see
Raising
you
a
on the
can
other side.
myself.
We'll see you on the other side. Yeah. What a man! What a man! We lost a big one there, and may he rest in peace. And condolences to his family, his loved ones, and basically everybody that's connected to Claude, man. I mean, we all lost somebody. Everybody's got a good story, you know, about Claude. If you really met him, or if you know him, or you talk to him, or you interact with him, he shoots from the hip. They love him or hate him. That man shoots from the hip. He just tells you how he feels. You know what I mean? How he's feeling, and that's what I like about. I like straight shooters. You know, I'm one myself. If everybody knows me, you know what I mean. So, um, but salute to everyone that's connected to him in any way, and feeling the loss. It's big um personality we lost there, and yeah, I just wanted to you know just do that for him. I've not had the chance to do that. Now going on to last week's show in the prelims. um Chig, you went with Omar Morales. That got you points there. Chig also went with Jared Gooden, lost your points. and Chig went with William Knight. That also lost you points. So you only got 1 point from the prelims. Will, you went with Alonso Meningfield. You got a point there. You also went with Abu Azaita. You lost a point there. You went with Modestas Bukaskas. You lost a point there as well, Will. So only 1 point for you in the prelims. I went with Abu Azaita. He lost. So I lost a point there. I went with Alonso Meningfield and Abubakar Nurmagomedov. They both won, so I got 2 points on the prelims. On the main card, Chig, you went with Kamaworthy. Will, you also went with Kamaworthy. Jamie Malaki, how about that knock, bro? How about that? How about that knockout there?
Yeah, man. That's the
Miranda
last time I
Maverick.
go with Worthy for anything.
You know what I was thinking that through the fight there, like you know what I bet Chig is thinking. I
You
don't
look like a
care what
finished
your name
fighter.
says. I don't care what your name says anymore, bro. You know, what I mean, I'm done with you. And yeah, I don't know if he's getting his karma in the last 2 fights, man. I don't know what's going on with him, man. But he lost that fight in a spectacular fashion. Miranda Maverick and Gillian Robertson, we all went with Maverick. Maverick won. Sean O'Malley, Thomas Almeida. Now, Chig, I don't know who was talking to you. I don't know what made you change your mind, but you done a leg change. Talk to us about that.
So, first of all, just a quick word on that girls'
Because
fight.
you were with Almeida. Go
Just a quick word on that girls' fight. I thought it was quite a good fight, that one, actually. I
on. It
think
was a really good fight.
the girl that won that fight in the end came out and proved maybe she might have a little something to her. I always look for the next big star with the females, you know? Try and look to see who might come up and actually do something. And I like the way that girl presents herself, and she's clearly very smart. She's obviously studying and stuff. So let's keep an eye out on her and see what happens. In answer to your question, simply put, very quickly, didn't realize that my man was on a losing streak. So as much as I liked his record, because I think it was like 21-4, but like 3 of the 4 had happened in the last 4 fights. So I was like, oh. So I quickly changed that shit. So that is simply the reason I changed my predictions so late in the day. So yeah, thank goodness I did. Otherwise, I'd have been further behind than I would have been.
I've got a feeling Ola was looking for something more dramatic than that, but let's go.
No, yeah, he probably was. It's a boring story.
I'm happy with that answer still, but I was thinking, boy, what's changed Chig's mind? But like, I really want to know, but I ain't gonna ask him till we
It was
do
a
the
boring
review.
story. That genuinely is. I literally watched. It was an MMA show that happened to pop up right before the actual show, and literally they mentioned his record. I was like, oh, what the heck am I doing then? So yeah, I quickly changed that. That was it. Nothing more interesting than that.
I mean, look, it's a good enough story. It's good enough for me. Will, you watch the fight. You watch the fight with me. When Sean O'Malley dropped him with that head kick, what did you think? How was it all looking for you?
I thought it was over. But then obviously it wasn't over, was it?
Showed mercy. I don't know. Yeah.
It wasn't over. Thiago Almeida came back from the dead. So yeah. But he didn't live for long either. It's like Jesus Christ. It came back, died again.
I thought he lived long enough.
He did well. He did well to survive to the 3rd round, especially after a first round like that. He did well to survive. Personally,
That's as long as you can ask a man in a 3-round fight.
Personally, you should go for fight of the night if that sort of shit happens. Yeah, to knock someone out and him to survive all the way to round 3. That's a fight of the night kind of.
We'll get to that.
But also, I also know that the UFC has got you in their ear for some reason and has given you points. Those are points lately, so it's all good. It's all good. I'm a bit salty about it, but it's all good.
It's sort of William is a William that I really like.
You're a twat.
I like a
You're a
sort of
twat.
William.
You're a twat.
Right. So I mean, this guy gets 2 walk-off KOs in one fight. How about 'cause he bust the man, head kick, dropped him, and most people would just go there and just finish the job. He was looking for that walk-off, and soon as he dropped him, I was like, yeah, walk-off KO, walk-off KO. But I've seen Almeida all shaking it off. Like, hold on, this brother ain't done. It's almost like it's a zombie thing. You know what I mean? It's almost like the brother was.
Tyson Fury.
Yeah, bro, I couldn't believe that brother got up. And you know what? They kill refs for stopping the fight too early. Refs get a lot of criticism. That ref, I think it was Jason Herzog. He did really well. You know what I mean? To just not rush into it. And in the end, we got a really, really good fight. You know, because Almeida came back in super tough, super durable. Most people would have been done in that first round. How that brother came back alive, I don't know, but salute to him. You know, but Sean O'Malley, he's back. That brother's back. 2 walk-off KOs in one night. You know what I mean? Yeah. Why did you choose Almeida? Stop shaking your head, blood.
No. Listen. You pick according to the fight. I don't think Sean O'Malley's back. I don't think he's back.
Ooh, you only as good as your last fight.
I know, but as soon as someone kicks that foot again, we will have problems. So let's go.
Oh, they didn't get to kick that foot.
I know he didn't.
And he checked a couple of them. Actually, Almeida did come with some leg kicks. They got checked.
I know.
All right.
But you gotta remember, yeah, Chico, yeah, kicked him twice. It was once or twice. Then his leg was compromised. All the others were already it was already damaged.
Who would you rather fight next
in that division, like them divisions? You get what I'm saying? Thiago.
Yo, who would you rather him fight next?
Who? What's his
O'Malley.
name?
Dominic Cruz. Yeah, Dominic Cruz or back with Chito.
Chito, you gotta get that back.
I think he needs to get that back, especially when you're claiming you haven't lost.
Yeah, you gotta get that back.
Cause one bit really did upset me, and I thought, oh, you tried to punk Bruce Buffer, and people, if you lot don't know, I'm one of Bruce Buffer's fucking biggest fan. Like,
even your missus is a fan.
Ask Will every fight night. It's not it's not a joke thing. Like, we worship Bruce Buffer in my household, man. You know what I mean? And when Bruce Buffer goes to call out his record and says 12-1, he did the 0 thing. You know what I mean? As Bruce Buffer was calling out the 1-0 for you, disrespectful jackass. You know what I mean? But the nerd in me makes me notice shit like that. You know, Sean O'Malley, he came back big. That was a big KO. I mean, when he dropped that punch, that right hand on my man, it's like my man was trying to survive, and he shot his lights out. Like with that one drop punch right there, big KO. And I think he's back, but we'll see who he gets next. For me, I want him to get that Chito fight back, and if Chito can beat him twice, then more power to him, and he can look forward. You know what I mean? But people are talking about Dominic Cruz as well. But I feel if he fights that fight and he wins, that's only going to propel him to start talking to top fivers. And I don't think he's there yet.
I think for me, like what you and Will have said, I think this is the next 2 fights for O'Malley. Really, you want to run back the fight that he actually lost, get his. You know, if he wants to claim he's undefeated after winning that fight, then okay, let him do that. Like you say, it seems corny otherwise. But at least if you get your win back, then at least you can say, well, I cancelled that loss, so I consider myself undefeated. For me, that's more. I can understand that thought process a little bit better. So I would say go and get that win back. Then Cruz represents your okay. This is a test because something completely different. A former world champion. All right, O'Malley. Let's see if you're really about this life. Can you get a statement knockout win against someone like a Dominic Cruz? And if he's able to do something like that, then you start to really have some serious conversations about him and potentially top 5, top 3 fights. So, yeah, that'd be the way I plan it for him.
Personally, I would like for him to. I don't know what's up with this fighter, but I would like for him to fight Cody Garbrandt. That would be my personal one. Like after Cheeto, if he beats Cheeto,
yeah, Cody had COVID. I think he had COVID.
Yeah, I know he's had it for a long time. I get that. But I'm saying, like me personally, I would my personal preference would be Cheeto first, then Cody. Because if you beat Dominic Cruz, right, they'll say he's old. It's not the same Dominic Cruz. No matter what you do to Dominic Cruz, yeah, you're not gonna get praise. If Dominic Cruz fights anyone,
it's still a good name on your CV, though.
Yeah, but it's not.
Yes, that's what I think.
It's like Faber. Faber became a.
This is better than Faber.
No, I'm saying it's like Faber. Like Faber, when people were fighting Faber and thinking, well, I fought Faber, so I
did Faber even become a UFC champion?
Not UFC.
It never. Yeah, it was WEC, innit?
Yeah.
Was WEC champion. It never got to be UFC champion. So for me, Dominic Cruz is a former UFC champion. He's a good name.
He was a first
on your resume. If you can get. If you can get past him, is a good name, and I think it will be difficult to beat. Which fight was we watching? And I was saying to you, look at that brother there running the Dominic Cruz movement. No, it was Kingdom. Side note. Anyway, yeah, that shit got me hooked, bro. I'm not even joking. Mad. If you ain't never seen Kingdom, no, I'm not done yet. Go and watch Kingdom on Netflix. Wicked thing, you know what I mean? Especially if you love your mixed martial arts.
And
so
please,
big win there for man.
Hang on. And if you do want to watch Kingdom, please hurry up because it will be out of Netflix at the end of this month. So if you do want to watch it, hurry the hell up. Don't worry. Once you watch the first one, you get hooked. Unlike
end of this month or end of
this month.
Because I know they took a bunch of things off for March. Okay.
Nah, April, end of April. Because I've like it comes up on my notifications a lot with stuff like that. Because I've been watching it a lot.
I love that show.
Yeah, I put all around.
Kingdom. If you're a mixed martial artist fan, Kingdom is a show for you to go and watch. If you haven't seen it before, and you want to know how I feel so strongly about weight cuts, when you watch that show, you'll understand why I feel so strongly about weight cut and why you shouldn't be doing it twice in 3 weeks to go and fight a 5-round championship fight like some stupid people. Very stupid. He's a good fighter, but a little bit stupid. Anyway, moving along. El Kukui.
Yo, I wish El Kukui finds your fucking address. I really do.
Bro, with him Kaviva here, I said I lead to him, bro. I go on a speed dial, you get me? Hold on. Tyron Woodley, Vicente Luque. Right. I'm expecting your I told you so, but hold on. Will's already laughing. He knew my pain watching that bloody fight. And shout out to Diego, shout out to Dante, if you man are watching. Shout out to Archie. You man tried to tell me last week, Chig and Will, you man tried to tell me I put my neck on line for Woodley and it did man like this. It will bask in your glory.
Actually, today I'm not gonna bask in my glory. No. I did enough telling you on there, and you did enough fighting me off you to let people understand where your mind frame was. So you can take this one yourself. I actually tried to use you. What I learned from you. And you said, don't use me. That was 2 fights ago. You shut me down. I was using you as an example, and you shut me down. Said, nah, that was 2-3 fights ago. Don't use my example. Don't. Wait. Here we are. How'd you feel? How'd you feel?
Dante, you know what? Maybe I'll take a little bit of credit for. I'll take a little bit of solace from what you put there. Like Dana said, he came to fight. What do you want from me? You know,
The irony
Dana
is,
gave
it
me
was
the
his,
guy card. Yeah,
the irony
Dana gave me
is,
that guy.
the irony is, it was his best performance in the last 4
In in
fights.
in over 20 what? How many 5 round fights is he had? In over 15 rounds. He
Yeah,
still ain't won a round yet.
because he went there to. I mean, he went there and
Oh my god.
he met my man in the middle of the ring, and exploded. I was like, what the fuck? Without
Yeah.
any care, without anything. I thought to myself, at least he's clearly made a decision that, all right, if I'm gonna get cut from this organization, I'm gonna get cut swinging.
I'm gonna go blazing.
Hold on.
Guns
If
blazing.
any of you noticed Dante's profile picture, I'm loving this. Big up yourself, Dante, man. That's a wicked profile picture you got there, Bridget.
We'll get there.
Salute to you, man.
We'll get
Salute
there.
to you.
We'll get there.
No, I'm just admiring that profile pic right there, man. Like,
We'll get there.
yeah,
We're almost there.
we need to do something, man. I need to get that, man. You know what I mean? So, look, you man told me. Everyone told me. I tried to make a case for Woodley. I actually believed that he might be able to do something. And Will, you made a good point. You know, he's got Gilbert in his corner. Gilbert beat him. Like, how did I not see this, blood? You know what I mean? I tried to make a case for this brother, man. And look, like Dana said, and I agree with you, Will. I don't often do this, agreeing with Will so many times, especially when he's smug. But Sean O'Malley Almeida fight should have been fight of the night because that man woke up from the dead and took it all the way to and made it tougher for O'Malley. These two here ended in the first round, and is Woodley again trying to throw that right hand, man? Like, come on, bro, you loading that right hand is like Stevie Wonder could see that coming, bro. You can't keep and you got wrestling. Like, this man is a all-time NCAA, all them numbers and digits champion wrestler. You know what I mean? Like, why are you trying to strike with, man, when you got other tools in the box to try and to get the job done? And I was disappointed in that fight. I really was. I just thought,
you say that, but see, I made this point of telling you guys this last week. For me, I just felt the game had moved on from his boxing, from his fighting style. He relied so heavily on his knockout power. That's why, for me, I love Francis as a fighter, because not only does he have that one-shot power, knockout power, but he has the ability to put shots together. Woodley's never really been the guy to put 4 or 5 shots together at once. And therefore, if shot 1, 2 doesn't get the job done, you're going to be struggling. And that's what we saw. That's how we saw the fight come out. Credit to him. He went out there and he met him with aggression. I'll give him that. But at the same time, he doesn't have the style to do that. He has the perfect counter-attack style, which is wait for your opponent, bow, pick him off. Unfortunately, he's also 39 years old. He doesn't have the speed to do that either. So for me, I hope for his sake, he's going to get cut from the UFC, because like a lot of people in the chat room are saying, I think that was actually the last fight on his UFC deal. So it's much cleaner than that. It's much more almost a cool. That was your last fight on the deal. You're free to go wherever. I'd like him to not sign to like a Bellator or somewhere like that. I'd love him to maybe take a couple of easy exhibition money fights if he needs the money that badly, and then go and do some, analyst work somewhere. Like,
Chick,
he used to do that
not-
shit for Fox. He
Chick,
used
not
to
to
do that
cut you
shit.
off, yeah. Not to cut you off or anything, yeah. Like, I get the exhibition fight, but he's put himself in a predicament where no one will pay to watch him. Do you catch my drift with Tyron? Tyron's in a predicament where he's made people hate him. Because when he was champion, all the demands and all the things, I need to get this. I'm more popular. I'm more handsome. Why is Conor McGregor getting these deals? Why is all of these things led to people not liking him? Even Dana used to have a problem with him all the time. Like, this guy's champion. This guy get paid loads. I don't get it. I really don't get it. He's not Conor, but he wants to get paid like Conor. What the fuck? I'm the greatest welterweight of all time.
You're right. Is that a lot has happened, but at the same time, now you're at the point where you are at the end of your career now, so you've got to try and do something. I don't see his acting. I don't see him being
all right.
a rapper.
Let me make it much more simple for you, Chick. Yeah, because you sound like the sympathetic one right now, right? Would you pay to watch Tyron Woodley's last exhibition fight?
No, I wouldn't. But
okay, that's it. That's my whole point. You get it.
But here's the thing, though, Will. What's he supposed to do? Give up on life? He's got to do something.
No, he's got to do. Yeah, but not.
He's got to try and do something.
They ain't gonna make you no money.
I think. Listen, he is a former UFC
He's a former champion. He's right up there with title defenses.
He will have value.
He
will have value.
I know, but it won't. Like, he will have value, but the thing is the audience. They pay you based on who is interested.
Oh, but brother,
I was interested last week.
That's what I'm saying. And then also, there've been a lot worse fighters than Tyron Woodley. They've been signed to.
That's still fighting in the UFC, man. Come on, dog.
Come on. I feel like, for me, I just wouldn't want him to do something long term.
Can I ask
That's the reason I say That's the reason I say exhibition fights. I wouldn't want to see him long term signed to anywhere because I don't feel like long term he has that fight anymore.
But UFC don't do exhibition fights, so what are you guys talking about? That's what I'm trying to say.
But that's what I said. I said once he gets cut from UFC, because he's not gonna be at UFC. Go to one of these small organizations. Whoever pays him the most, just get the check, do what you got to do, and then see what you can do in terms of finding yourself a decent analyst job. Apparently, you used to have a podcast as well. You know, try and get that shit going. These are the sort of things that he's got to try and do now.
No,
to try and make money.
See, this is the point I'm trying to make. People didn't like him he killed his own self. He killed his own brand with how he was.
Listen, there is no way.
He had a podcast first. He was one of the first ones to have a podcast.
I get it. People have a strong emotion to him. Use that. This is the thing. I think for me, I just don't like the attitude of, well, you know, because he's unpopular, game over. Like, no, you have to keep going.
I know you have to keep going, but I'm saying, like, with him, with how he's made himself, people gave him a chance. Yeah, remember, all of us black people were behind him to begin with, and then all of a sudden, everyone started being like, you know what? This Tyron Woodley's doing my head in. This Tyron Woodley guy's doing my head in. He lost his own fans. Yeah, when he had a voice, when he had a belt, and these are the things people look at to give you like deals and whatnots. They'll look at your fans, how many people are following you, do you get what I'm saying? That's how they get their contract signed, most of them. That's why the UFC tell you to up your flipping social media and shit. Yeah, that's part of it. It's part, yeah. So, so popularity kind of, as much as you might not like it, it is kind of.
But this is based on what you're saying. So then what do you then tell them to do? Because
be an analyst.
From what you're saying, it's all doom and gloom. There's no point. You know, he wasted his opportunity while he was popular. He was this, that, and the other.
When he was an analyst,
you got to try and do something.
Analyst. That's the best thing, because that one, people still hate the people who analyze, but they're there. They're analysts. That's it.
Who thinks is he a better rapper than analyst, or is he a better analyst than a rapper?
He's a better analyst than a rapper. Have you heard his?
Oh, come on.
Have you heard his trash? Stop it. I can sleep talk. I can sleep talk better than he can rap. I can sleep talk better than he can rap.
All jokes aside, which you seem like you want to really joke on Tyron Woodley considering you chose him last week. Yeah.
No, bro, no. I asked the genuine question, man. You know what I mean? He's a better analyst than a rapper. You know what I mean? Like, come on. There's some. I could name you my 3 top analysts, and Woodley ain't one of them. You know what I mean? So
yeah, because that's
why I asked you. Yeah, I'm just saying. That's why I asked you. You know. If you see his analyst CV, so you might know more. That's why I asked. I ain't trying to shit on Woodley. I like Woodley. You know what? I need to bring something up. There's a brother in the chat, Mr. Habib. It's like this brother is living in my head. He's got a fucking room of his own in my fucking mind. He knows what I'm thinking when I'm thinking it. He's got the name of my favorite fighter. He's even got my door number in front of his name. You don't know what street I live in or what town I live in. But he's even got my door number on his name. You know what I mean? Salute to that brother. You get me? I don't know how we worked all of that out.
Could you pull something up from this guy? Let me see, cause
put that bit up where.
Yeah, that's 135. 135.
Yeah,
I was gonna say it has to be 135.
No, go back up. Go back up. The one before the one after Diego. The one after Diego there. Thing is, most champions who gets managed by Ali Abdulaziz make money. He knows how to do business. You feel me? Like it's
What's that got to do
me
with
and you is from the same world. Me and you is from the same world. I just brought that up separately. That was a side note.
Yeah. If you understand Ola's headspace, Ali has got a room there. You understand as well? Ali has got a definite room there. So that's why he's trying to tell you that all the things I've been saying about Ali. Yeah.
We're eating. So anyway, let's move on to the main event. The main event of the evening.
Best fight of the year so far for me.
So, Chig put something in the WhatsApp chat, and you probably forgot about this, but this was an article about Stipe saying once he's done with Francis and he beats him, he wants to go and see AJ or Fury. And I messaged Chig back. I said, bro, you better not be overlooking Francis, you know. You know what Chig's reply is? Because I wrote it down in my book. Yeah? Chig says, I pray he overlooks Francis. What happened, Chig? You look like the Lord answered your prayer in a spectacular fashion.
Let's just say he almost broke his ankle. He overlooked him so badly. Oh, goodness gracious. He got knocked into oblivion. It was for me. How could I say the fight planned out the way I thought it would? More or less. I expected him to be better grappling wise than he was. I still think he was shaky. I still think that I'd be worried a little bit for him if he was facing a Jon Jones and a Jon Jones tried to do a single leg on him. I do think it was an interesting way of defending it. But he managed to defend it. That was the main thing. And then, I think for me, you always favor Francis in a striking exchange. And as soon as he got it into a striking exchange, you just got to back Francis. And, it was such a shame for Stipe because at one point, Stipe probably thought he had him because it was a beautiful little left counter that Stipe had him, kind of stunned Francis with. And then Francis was like, what? Bow! And then knocked him into oblivion.
That was almost the same punch it knocked Vadum out with. If you remember, it was going backwards.
Yeah. Almost that kind of fadeaway hook. Yeah, I know what you're saying. So, no, for me, it was for as brief as it was a good fight. Played out the way I hoped it would, the way I the way I thought it would. If I'm Stipe, don't blame him for not necessarily calling Francis back out. I think he knows that if he really has this burning desire to be champ again, I'm pretty sure he knows he'll come back and ask for a title shot, and he's there. So maybe from his perspective, he might even decide to wait for Jones to take or to try and take the belt from Francis, and then maybe challenge Jones. Maybe he might fancy Jones as an easier prospect, because I'm not being funny on that thing. I said this in the build-up. Did I not? That 3 fights against DC may just change you. That, I think, was ultimately the difference. 3 fights, 3 brutal fights, which, yes, he won. But they take something out of you, those fights. And some of the punches that he was able to withstand in the first fight, he damn sure wasn't able to withstand them in this fight. And I think that those are the sort of things that help Francis win. And now it's on to Jon Jones. And can he beat Jon Jones? I must admit, I still think Jones will win, but I'm more confident than ever that Francis will give him a hell of a battle before it happens. So there you go. There's my full review on that.
William,
Yeah.
talk to us.
It panned. I actually loved the fight. I absolutely loved it. I had a feeling though. I had a bad feeling that Stipe would fake the takedown and then expose what's his face. But I think Stipe got more scared than I thought he would. And also, I don't think it's DC more so that took out of Stipe. I think it's Stipe's age. And you know me with age and chin and shit like that. You know me. I'll always say, once you hit 38, I'm looking at you funny. I'm looking at you sideways. Like, all right, you had a tough chin or whatever it was, but right now you might not be the same again. That's how.
Did you look at DC sideways when he beat Stipe the first time?
That's what I'm saying.
Did you look at him sideways?
Yeah, 3 brutal fights.
Did
just come out.
Did you look at DC sideways?
No, listen. He just come out the war. Yeah, with what's his face, Ngannou. It hadn't even been 6 months, and he took DC on. He hadn't recovered at all. With DC, he's recovered. It's been a long time since he fought DC. He's recovered.
Yeah, he's kind of fought DC and Ngannou back to back, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. It's DC and Ngannou. His last 2 people he's fought is DC and Ngannou, right? But my whole point was, even in the first round, listen, with the first hit that is what's his name, Ngannou touched him with, it would have knocked anybody out.
I think you guys are seriously downplaying. Think about it. In the last 5 fights he's had, 2 of them he was brutally knocked out in. 1 of them he got touched from like he was touched from God. In the other one,
2 he was.
You telling me that's not? 2. Are you telling me that is not taking a toll out of you?
Wait, which 2 did he get knocked out in? I thought
the first DC fight.
Yeah.
And then the last fight. I'm talking about his last 5 fights.
We're talking about it before. We are talking about like the process of we going into this fight. We're talking about going into this fight.
No, I understand that. But what I'm trying to say to you is that these things take their toll on you.
Oh, yeah,
I don't care how old
I
don't care how old you are, right?
They
take their toll on you. That's why
I'm not setting your point aside. I'm just saying I believe from my perspective, I don't think it's so much so the DC fights because he had time to recover. He had a lot of time. It's even to the point where I was getting pissed off because he wasn't taking fights. How can you be the champion, beat DC and then don't want to defend your belt?
You say that he had time. He faced DC 3 times in 2 years. How much time is that really? Ain't that much time. Keep it in mind, you're training as well.
The time in which he fought
sparring as well.
The time in which he fought DC. First
when you take the sparring into consideration as well and the preparation for the fight, it's brutal. And he has to cut weight.
I don't want to downplay what Francis did. Don't get me wrong. I still think he's knocking him out anyway. But what I'm trying to say is that I feel like
I get what your point. I'm not sure on your point.
I'm actually
giving my point.
I'm actually giving DC a lot of credit here. I feel like DC. I think those fights with DC, even though I think in the end Stipe won the battle decisively, I actually think for the
Fair
first
enough. That's your point.
fight
Yeah,
and a
that's your.
half,
I get that. I haven't
first
shitted
fight
on your
and a
point.
half, it
I just use your point
absolutely
as a
takes its toll.
crutch. No, I just use your point as a crutch to do on mine. I'm not. You got your point. I get your point. That's your opinion. That's how you see it. But I see it differently. That's what I'm saying. I just see it differently. I get your point. I use yours as a. I see what you're saying, and I get it. Yeah, but
I like this William. He's grown from last week. You know what I mean? He's actually, you know what I mean,
All right, no,
respecting
no.
opinion.
If he disagrees, he disagrees. I'm merely just
Oh no, I'm
expanding
not
on.
disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing with. This is the whole. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not disagreeing with your point. I said I get. I'm using your point as a crutch to say I'm more thinking. I know you're thinking DC took care of him, but me, I'm more thinking his age. You get what I'm saying? That's why I'm trying to use your point to elaborate
Look,
on my point.
everything. One thing we do know is once you become a champion and you have to defend it, it's a whole different thing because everyone's preparing for you. You can only prepare for that one person, but everybody is getting ready for you. It don't matter what ranking, anyone in the top 10, they're looking at you. If they get somebody else in front of them, then that's what it be. But as long as you're up there, you're the target, you know. And Stipe's had to do that for a meaningful amount of time. And you go and look at the title defenses he's had, the people he's knocked out, the fight he's won is one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. You can't deny that. But this was always gonna happen. It's a shame it took us 3.5 years to get here. With Ngannou taking the long road back to Stipe after I lost that fight. Most people will get that rematch maybe in 2-3 fights. It took him that long to
Let me
get
ask you a
that fight.
question. Let me ask you a question. If Usman then called for Masvidal, do you think Masvidal will be anywhere close to title fight?
No,
Yeah, he got 5-0.
but I don't think.
He
But
got
but
5-0.
but what I'm trying to say is it probably take him 2-3 fights to get back there. You know, the Colby now he's had one fight and he got knocked out, and he could be looking at a title. This is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, while you're using Masvidal, there's Colby example right there. You know, so my thing is, look, Stipe, I gotta give him his dues as a champion and what he's done for that division as well. Because that division was looking still for a minute, but he brought it back and relatable guy. So I want to give Stipe his credit. Now, Francis Ngannou,
This guy.
Francis. Salute to Mike, man. Mike, that's my brother right there, man. You get me? Francis Ngannou now, on the other hand, what he's been through to get to this point, and like I said, to get a rematch with Stipe, it's took him 3.5 years to get back in front of him and make sure that he gets the job done this time. And there's a lot of pressure that goes into that. There's a lot of not wanting to make a mistake. Everybody wondering whether you've improved. And when the whole thing that changed my whole perception of the fight, watching it live, was when he sprawled. Bro, the muscles on his back has got muscles. I couldn't believe what, and I thought, nah, there's no way Stipe is getting back from. And then he got up, got his back, dropped him, and just started raining punches on it. And I thought that surely that's it. How that brother survived the first round,
It was the one fight
I
where
don't know.
I've not been so emotionally involved in a fight in a long time. As soon as he went for him, I was like, hold on. I kept screaming, hold on. And then he got in the back and then started swinging him in the turtle position. I was like, okay, all right. Then I thought, okay, don't get overexcited though. Don't try and wrestle him. And I noticed literally at the same time, DC was like, okay, this is stupid. Don't wrestle Stipe. And it's as if Francis heard, so then he stopped and thought, all right, cool.
How did you feel? How did you feel? Because I'm telling you right now, my heart was going to jump out of my chest.
No, do you know the
How
only
did you
time I
feel
got nervous?
when they said my man started breathing out of his mouth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest, a little bit. a little bit, but the time I got nervous was when he started to try and wrestle him. I thought, oh, easy, just relax. Relax, it's coming. Relax. So when he got back into that standing position, I thought, okay, cool. Now you got him. And I knew it was a matter of time once Stipe started wobbling about again. And the thing is I like Stipe. I like him a lot. 9 times out of 10, I'd be supporting him in any other situation. But I needed Francis to win last week, man. I needed him to win. And I'm glad he did.
I'm also glad he did. I woke up to a message on my phone. I told all of this. Someone owed me a tenner, and the person said £20. I've got £20 on Stipe. Yeah.
Okay.
I said okay. I thought about it. I thought, well, if I lose, I'll only lose a tenner because he already owes me a tenner. So if I lose, I'll only lose a tenner. So fuck yeah, I'll go in Ghana. Just went thumbs up in Ghana, and he locked it in just before the fight began. I just sent him smiley faces after the second round. I just sent him smiley faces. I said, nice doing business with you. You know what I mean? So I'm 30 up, from £10 to £30 up. You know what I mean? Don't worry, some of the proceeds will go into Ola's house with drinks.
Francis did that for you, man. Francis did that for you.
Yeah,
I mean, salute to that brother. It made me proud. It made, like, there's not enough made. We now got 3 African champions, man. This is a big deal. Like, I think Stipe, I don't even think America's got any champion.
We're about to
right
have
now.
2. We're about to have just 2.
When you look at it all, you don't know. Maybe you could class Aljamain, but Aljamain comes with the Jamaican flag every time he comes into the octagon. You know what I mean? He ain't rocking the American flag. He rocks the Jamaican flag. So to me, that's a West Indian champion. You see, that's karma. When man was to talk shit, you know what I mean? The internet took him away, bro. So GDPT, salute to you, my guy. But Francis he's now got a big challenge in front of him. Jon Bones Jones. This is a big problem. Remember all those months ago when we thought this fight might happen? And I said, yeah, I'm going 3-1 on Francis. Francis is going to knock his block off. Then I came back and moonwalk like Michael Jackson. I think I did it better than Michael Jackson when I said, no, I don't want to get that bet no more, but I think I moonwalk better than Michael Jackson. But you know what I mean? When I said, no, I don't want that Jon Jones bet. You know what? I might do a running man back to that bet now, I might do a running man back to that bet now, you know what I mean? So,
okay.
Jon Jones Francis.
I'll take Jon Jones on it still. I still take Jon Jones on it.
I change my mind every time I think about this fight. Every time. My only thing is this. I still edge Jones purely on the basis that I think I would like to see how Francis really deals with someone who can actually wrestle him and keep him there. It seems like Jones might be the only person in the division who will be able to do that. My only concern is, when Stipe did try to go for that double leg, and yes, I think Francis defended it well. I wonder if a Jones who is 20 pounds heavier than Stipe, would Francis still be able to defend it as well? Those are the sort of questions I'd like to see answered. So, I think it's interesting, but then at the same time, on the flip side, I'd love to see can Jones take a punch from Francis. I don't care what you say about Jon Jones. We're not talking about Floyd Mayweather here. This motherfucker takes hits. So that's another real big question is when you take a hit from Francis, what are you going to be like? You think you're tough now? Can you take a punch? Not just from anybody as well. The 2 of the hardest punches in the heavyweight division is Lewis and Ngannou. If you could take the power from those 2, then fine, you're doing well.
You're gonna be
But we
all
don't
right.
know. We don't know whether he could do that. We don't know. So
Like Derek Lewis always says, he's okay.
he's okay.
Stipe wasn't okay. Stipe wasn't okay
Stipe,
on that
Stipe,
fight night there,
I
man.
reached. I don't know about anyone else. I reached for my own right ankle when I saw Stipe get knocked out.
Oh my god, it's crazy. It's a crazy knockout. But you think about what Jones could bring to the thing, right? For me, Jones is always found ways to win fights. Always. And we've seen him in adversity against tough opponents where we're saying, you know what? I think Jones lost that fight, but still he did enough to convince the judges that he won it. Um, so
Judah
I
PT,
feel I've
Judah PT. By the way, stick around. We're gonna analyze Dillian White's performance from last week as well. So it won't just be MMA today. So
so
go on.
you know John Jones for me he's a problem solver, but can he get tagged? Can he take them punches that I see Dominic Reyes touching with? The one that I see Thiago Santos, he knocked the gum shield out of his mouth. And when we know Thiago Santos swings hammers, you know what I mean? He knocked the gum shield out of Jones's mouth. Now, if Ngannou gets that kind of opportunity, it could be over. And the problem now with Ngannou is, like Usman did with Gilbert Burns, he's dropping people with jabs. Like when you got power, like those guys for their division, and they drop him man with jabs. Where when you drop a man with jab with that kind of power behind the jab, you can then go and finish it with serious strikes and make the ref just make the ref pull you off. And that's what they're starting to do. And that's some patience. If this man is a dangerous guy. Because when you look at the look on his face in that Stipe fight, there you thinking this is a whole new Francis. This is a Francis that I ain't seen before. The head kick to Stipe's chin, it landed flush on his chin. I think, where is this coming from? But this man's adding tools to his arsenal. But we do know Jones has got all the tricks in the book, including eye pokes. He's got it all. You know what I mean? Jones will eye poke your ass to put you off your game. You know, and then get in that way. I've seen Jones drop man with elbows. You know what I mean? Elbow and the man just like, whoa, where'd that come from? But that's Jones he's got it all. But can he move? Because him putting weight on and he can't get out of the way of them punches at 205, and he's putting weight on to go to to go to one of the fastest punches in the heavyweight division. I don't know. I don't know if he can survive that. You know what I mean? I really don't. It makes for an intriguing fight. It's one that I'm looking forward to. And
Before you move on to
every
Will, let me ask you a quick question. What do the following people have in common? Reyes, OVP,
Thiago Santos, OSP,
OSP, I should say. I've forgotten the Swedish guy,
Gustafsson.
Gustafsson.
Gustafsson. All of them have given Jon Jones problems. All of them are at least 6'4" or up. The only person
That's a good
shorter
point.
was Santos. So there is an argument. I'm not saying there's a pattern, but there's an argument to be made that if you're going to give Jon Jones problems, you better be at least as tall as him. So
Yeah,
I think
the only
if you
only
watch,
only
if
one
you
and a
watch,
half inch reach
all
between
right,
both of them as
all right,
well.
all right. But if you watch
Go on,
all the fights too, if you watch them, I've watched Gustafsson and Jon Jones thoroughly. I've watched over 80 times, and I'm not even shitting you. I've watched over 80 times. If you watch all of them that you've just mentioned right now, what was the main thing all of them were doing in that fight? Who was the hunter and who was being hunted? They were
I
all
agree.
backing off. They were
I
all
agree.
backing off.
I agree. That's the point I'm
He
making.
was chasing him. Yeah,
That's the point I'm
going to
making.
back off. Ngannou's going to
So
be the chaser. So
there's no way on earth
opportunities.
that Ngannou is going to be backing off in that
Exactly.
fight.
He's going to be there. When you chase, you create opportunities. Like,
So that's what I'm saying. So I guess
Jones
why I
did-
was mentioning that was that as a basis, be as tall as him to start with, and then like you just said yourself, don't be backing off him. I think in the end with Reyes, although I still think Reyes won the fight, he paid Jones way too much respect as the fight went on, and backed off and backed off and backed off and backed off.
Because Jones was trying to get something.
Gustafsson, I thought it was more of a back and forth, but I do also think that there were times where he allowed Jones, particularly towards the end of the round, to start building momentum and backing off and backing off. There is no way Francis is going to do that shit unless Francis is tired.
Now this is where, right?
That's where the question could be.
Yeah, but now this is where you have to put your boxing head in. Yeah. When a counter puncher, doesn't have someone attacking them, they can look awkward and shit and crap and look like they don't know what they're doing, which is what Jones was looking like. Jones is a counter. Jones watch what you're doing and then over that. Do you get what I'm saying? So now he's got people who are going to come here and sit, which is what Gustafsson did the best. Gustafsson was the best one. Because when there was no action, Gustafsson didn't mind. When there was no action, Gustafsson never did. He didn't want to lead. He was only reacting off of what Jones was doing. And Jones reacts off you. Jones is like a Mayweather. Do you get what I'm saying? He needs you to attack him for him to look good. And this is the point I'm trying to say. Like, because if you just said the last few Jones's fights, but if you go back into Jones's history, he's fought people who are that tall as well before. Stronger punchers, legends of the game and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I think like you say, you can only be as good as your last fight.
I get that, but I'm saying the styles, like they came after him. Do you get what I'm saying? They came after him, so he had more ways to. If you're there, you're always in my face, and I've got more chances to hurt you. If you're hiding and you're hitting me as well, I get frustrated. Do you get what I'm trying to? Does that make any sense? Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's like Mayweather. Jones is like Mayweather. Jones is definitely like Mayweather. You have to attack him. Yeah. Mike.
He's elusive, but he's not been elusive in the last couple fights. That was
because of how
it's not been that elusive.
And when you watch fighters who fight Mayweather, who are counter punches as well, who wait for Mayweather to make any action, Mayweather looks crap against them. You have to attack Mayweather for him to look great. You have to attack him. When you try to play the counter game with him, it makes the fight look crap. Because Mayweather doesn't punch that. He doesn't attack. He waits for your attack to swerve and hit you with his.
Yeah, but like I said, Jones got more tools in the box to win this fight.
I know. Jones only goes after you, when he's hurt you. Until then, it's him looking for spaces to do what he's going to do with you. It's him going over. You punch, he swerves, hits you. You do this, he's reacting off of you. So I'm trying to say, like, these guys didn't attack Jones. They all showed him respect, which actually helped them in a way. Yeah. Well, Francis may intend to go for it, but might taste something early that makes him think twice. Jones is. I know. Do you know what? Yeah, Jones is very. It's gonna shock. It's like Mayweather. It's like the Mayweather like Rubik's cube where people don't get. Like, why is this guy? Why did he do Canelo like that? Bear in mind, watch Canelo before Canelo got in with Mayweather. Watch Canelo after going with Mayweather. Yeah, still the same Canelo, vicious Canelo, still the same vicious guy. But when he got in with Mayweather, he looked like he couldn't even punch. And this is what these kind of guys do to you. Yes, Reyes would have knocked a lot of people out with all the punches he was giving Jones. But guess who was running? So Jones must do something to you in there.
I hear what you're saying, especially when you use the Canelo example. But I just think, I guess it really is a belief on if you think Francis' style is going to change that much when facing Jones versus him facing a normal opponent. For me, I think it would be a detriment to himself if he didn't approach that fight in the same forward-thinking manner that he did with the Stipe fight. The Stipe fight, why everyone was so impressed was not only was he able to vary it up, he still was aggressive. you knew going into the fight that he was still dangerous. You still knew what his intent was, and I think that if the minute that he allows Jones to think like you're suggesting that many opponents go in there and do, they go in there with a plan, and then they allow Jones to be able to implement his plan on them.
Mhm.
I think if Francis does that, then I think he's setting himself up for a fall. Having said that, I also wonder how effective the Joneses' elbows and stuff is going to be on Francis, because surely he will prepare for that. Surely he'll prepare for the eye pokes and stuff like that, because he clearly seems to have a very knowledgeable camp around him. And I'd like to think that they'll put him in a lot of situational circumstances that will prepare Francis for Jon Jones. The only unknown variable is Jones as a 250-pound heavyweight. We don't know what that's going to be like.
205.
We really don't know what that's going to be like.
205.
And Francis comes in all 265, all muscle, bro, all muscle.
So that's the only
265 of it.
unknown variable, because a 250, even though Francis is a bigger man, but 250 pounds leaning on you, trying to wrestle you, makes a difference, bro. Especially versus a 230-pound man.
It does. It does.
So I think that for me is where
That's the
I'm
nuance
concerned.
right in there.
That's where I think Jon Jones, if he's going to have success, it's going to be wrestling. If it's going to be striking, if in a striking battle, I make Francis favorite. I think Francis has shown that whilst he doesn't necessarily have the most technical ability, the man has a hell of a chin, and quite frankly, he's so dangerous. You're still there on the ground, standing up while you face him. Good luck. Good luck. I can still see if you're there 30 seconds later. Whereas I think if Jon Jones varies it up and changes levels on him and is clever and it uses eye pokes effectively, let's be real here. Quite frankly, yes, we know it's cheating, but let's be real here. Whatever you got to do to win the fight, what you got to do to win the fight, that's where I think it'll become interesting. Those are the sort of circumstances that I want to see Francis react to. I want to see him in danger and find out what he's about when he is in danger. That's what I really want to find out.
Well, if there's somebody that can provide that kind of puzzle for Francis, it's definitely Jones. Okay, let's move on from that. We got a fight next week. Darren Till was supposed to be fighting Martin Vettori, but he's now out injured with a collarbone injury. And all of a sudden, our boy that was begging Khabib for advice has taken up the chance to fight another lad from Dominance MMA. So, I just want like early thoughts on this fight, the matchmaking and their styles, and you know how you see it, William.
Vittori should beat him. I think, me personally, I think Vittori should beat him. But yeah, you've seen stranger things happen. You've seen stranger things happen in the UFC.
I'll save my prediction for next week, but I think it's an interesting fight. I think it's smart from Holland. It's a very good way of getting back all your heat at once in one fight. It's a winnable fight for him, but I don't think it'll be easy. Vettori is super tough, and is on a hell of a roll at the moment. So yeah, I think let's see what happens. I actually find this fight more interesting than the Till fight. So go figure.
Yeah, for real.
So yeah, I think let's see what happens. But yeah, it's definitely a good plan from Holland. Let's see. Let's see. He's got all the talent in the world. Just needs to stop doing this talking bullshit.
If Holland wins, it could be within 2 fights of saying easy, and that would be an amazing strikers battle. One that I'm salivating for. I want him to keep winning, so we can see those two get at it. But he's got Vettori in front of him. It's a tough fight, like you said, but we'll talk about that one next week. Another one that got dropped on our lap. Nate versus Leon Edwards.
Oh yes, this was talk about the surprise news of the week. Yeah, I don't know where this one came from. The one thing I will say,
I have Nate.
fair play. Somebody made this point to me the other day, and actually, when you really think about it, it's true, right? For all the shit that Nate gets about his record and that, this motherfucker doesn't come back to easy fights. Like, when you really think about it, whenever Nate comes back, you don't ever look at his opponent and think, oh, that's an easy fight. Even the Pettis fight weren't that easy. That's not the easiest fight to come back to.
The run started from Michael Johnson.
Michael
Johnson to Conor McGregor to Pettis, Masvidal, and now Leon Edwards.
So I must admit, it's even when the Poirier fight was
Ola, what have you got to say to this as well? Nate keeps saying he slapped up Khabib many times. He's already beat Khabib. So fuck you.
Yeah. Nate says what he says, man. You know what I mean? Nate said fuck you to the Rock. What you want from me? You know what I mean? He told the Rock fuck you when they put the belt around Masvidal. You know what I mean? That's just Nate, man. You know what I mean? If you're a Nate fan like I am, you know what I mean? You just know the character of this brother. You know what I mean? Like this.
You understand?
Like that's nothing. That's just Nate being Nate. Nate
said
can tell
he's already beat Khabib. That's what he told.
Yeah, that's what I just said. Nate says what Nate says. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say any more on that matter there. But I'm looking forward to this fight.
I forgot you have like a dominance MMA type of love for Nate Diaz. I forgot about that.
I'm not gonna sit on here and shit on Nate, man. You know what I mean? Nate's my guy, man. You know what I mean? He's always involved in the big fights. You know, when the big fights, the big money is about.
Stupid guy. It's a stupid.
It's a little bit stupid.
But it don't cut weight, but you will see what the prediction is when we get there, man. You get me?
Under the bus.
I'm fine. I
already know he picks. I bet he picks Nate to be Edwards.
Nah, I'm picking Nate to be.
Well, I like where you two went with it there. You see, both of you don't even know where I'm gonna go.
I said
You said I'll pick Nate. You said I'll pick Leon Edwards.
I said I'm picking Nate. I don't know what you're picking, but I'm picking Nate.
We'll see. Colby, like we said, is gonna be the backup for the Masvidal fight, and that's happened. That's happening in a couple weeks, 3 weeks down the line. What do you make of that?
Well, I guess now we know why the Edwards Colby fight never materialized. I guess because A, Nate had got involved, and B, maybe Colby had kind of negotiated a position whereby he said he'll wait for a title shot rather than, try and do something with Edwards. Because Edwards is too risky of a fight for Colby. Even though I think Colby would win, it is too risky of a fight for Colby, so I can understand. So yeah, I could see his logic. It is what it is. Good luck to him. I don't expect him to fight. If Masvidal can make weight in 5 weeks, why wouldn't he make weight within 12? So I think it's a bit of a waste of time for him. But if it's a nice, easy payday, why not? So go ahead.
And on top of that, I think there's guarantees that comes with that. A bit like what Chandler did, and look where Chandler is now with Oliveira. So I think there's going to be a little bit of some guarantees in there from the promoter, from the UFC as well. But good for Colby is if he does look, if one of them falls out, whether it's Usman or whether it's Masvidal, is a fight that I would want to see. You know, I'll pay to see. So I don't care whichever way that 3 round way pans out. I'm happy. Yeah, I'd rather Usman pull out so he carries on retaining. But mixed martial art is the money. The money is there. He feels it's an easy payday. That's why I called him up. So let's hope he gets the job done. But that's happening 3 weeks down the line. Conor versus Dustin, that just got made. Like Dustin only just signed that contract. They booked it for 10th of July. Off air, we was actually talking about this. They booked it for the 10th of July. Conor versus Dustin is a non-title fight, but Francis says he wants to fight in July, and Jones, all of a sudden, out of the stratosphere, has done the deal. What are you guys thinking? Will?
International Fight Week, you know. July's International Fight Week, so obviously Connor's always commanded that slot from a long time. I think the only time he didn't get it was when 200 was postponed, when he was kicked off of 200, because he had that thing with Nate where they had to do 202 instead. Remember, they were edged in for 200, but they had to do 202 because some bullshit happened. I forgot what it was, but some bullshit happened. Yeah, Connor's always like that International Fight Week. Smart boy, because that's the time where, like, I don't know why it's called International Fight Week, but that's the time where, like, it's like the whole world's eyes are on fights, like from boxing to UFC to wherever it is. So, yeah, I get it, but I don't know. Maybe Ngannou might be a week or two after. I don't know. What you saying, Chig?
Yeah, I think for me, I guess the question that I had offline was, is Conor going to do a little co-main job for Francis and Jon Jones? But then I think you kind of made the point of, well, why not? He's not the champion anymore. He lost his last fight.
Yeah.
This is a rematch for him to get redemption. So there shouldn't be any reason why he couldn't co-main for them. And like you say, it's a card that makes a lot of sense. It's a card that I think will break records, will shatter records. And there are 2 fights there where people will definitely want to see what happens. I think for me personally, if 2 of those fights were to happen, I would pay for those 2 fights alone. Never mind any
On the
other
same
match.
night, on the same card.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I would say.
I mean, for the money that Jones is asking as well, which is a lot of money. I think they're looking at 8.
This guy's a
Well, he
clown.
said he wouldn't do it for 8. He's talking about 10, right? So
Do I sound like a Brummy?
me,
Apparently, I sound like a Brummy.
so for me, I just think to pay Jones that type of money, he's got to be on a big card where they think getting gate is going to be feasible to pay Francis what he wants as a champion. And this is why I don't see why Conor wouldn't do, a co-main with Dustin. Dustin is a former champion. Conor is also a former champion. Jones vacated his title. Them 2 men lost their titles. You know what I mean? And we got Francis that's a current champion. So for me, I just think those 2 guys headlining that card there, Dustin and Conor co-main eventing it. That's a big card already. You know what I mean? So I think that, like Will said, International Fight Week is always in July. So they're probably eyeballing that, and that'll bring a lot of countries together on a fight night like that. And we'll see who else they chuck on it. But it looks very, very interesting that these 2 they're getting back in there to do the rubber match. They got 1-on-1 on each other, Dustin and Conor. And it's going to be interesting when that comes around, because preparation is key. And the only thing that I keep hearing Conor's camp talking about is the leg kick. But I think there's more than the leg kick, the early takedown. Like, how is Conor, you know what I mean? How is he going to react to that, fighting that takedown? Because Dustin now knows he can do that. It's just a different problem. So, but we'll see closer to the time. Let's see Conor's preparation, and see how he approaches the fight. So,
Okay.
on another current event, I don't know if you guys saw Ben Askren and Jake Paul's press conference.
Mm. I must
Chig,
admit, right?
Let's start with you, Chig.
I had no interest in this fight about 4 months ago when it was made, but the more I'm catching these little presses and these little snippets here and there, I must admit I'm really like not only am I getting right into the fight, but actually I'm really liking Ben Askren and what he has to kind of like bring to the table. And you know, I like how cool he's remaining in these situations, because you know, sometimes when we've seen Askren in press conferences before, he usually takes up the mantle of the unlikable dude, that type of the more kind of goofy idiot that you can't wait to see get slapped up. Whereas in this particular situation, Jake Paul is so fucking unlikable. You're just like,
Bro,
actually, it's making Ben Askren shine. And actually, for me, he's handled himself very well in this, in a sense that, yeah, he's still goofy and he's still geeky and that. But actually, there were certain parts of this press conference which I really liked. Like when he says something on the lines of, where I think Jake Paul was getting ahead of himself, saying, "Oh, you little bitch ass pussy," talking about me bullying you, and Askren was like, "Motherfucker," like what he did say, "Motherfuckers," like, you do understand that in real life I would kill you. You know that I would commit a homicide on you. I would kill you. You understand that, right? And then my man getting up, going, "Go on then, go on then." Like, first of all, not only would about 80 people jump up to try and protect you, but it's true. As soon as he said that, everybody was like, yeah, it's true. That don't get it twisted. In boxing, yes, you are the absolute favorite going into this fight. But don't get it twisted. In an actual fight, Ben Askren would kill your punk ass.
The same with Mayweather, Conor McGregor. Conor would kill Mayweather.
100%. 100%. So I think for me, I think that was where he started to win the press conference for me. And, you know, the way he bitch slapped him towards the end as well. It just, I enjoyed the whole thing immensely because it made Jake Paul look like an idiot.
Let me say,
But,
who did I bet with on what is that? Who was the one I bet with?
Dante.
And
this is even more confident now.
He's more confident with what's his
I
name?
know, Dante, I threw you to the wolves, man, but boy, you know what? I'm gonna have to come save you. I'm gonna have to come back to the table with you.
Dante.
I'm gonna have to come back to the table with you.
God, your love like this. What do you call it? Dan,
You guys are jackass, you know. Capone, man.
Dan, Capone, I love Capone, man. Dan, I've got one thing to say to you. This will be the easiest £20 I'll give away if I lose. I'll be happy to lose that £20, but don't worry, I like money too, so I'll get my £60 back. Don't worry about that. If Jake knocks him out, but I wouldn't mind if Ben beats the hell out of Jake. I would not mind at all. But a bet's a bet, and I already stood on Jake's side. So, fortunately, £60 weighs more. But I won't be mad giving you that 20. I'll be mad cash up in you.
Remind me, what did Ola sell Dante down the line for? What was the bet?
This Jake Paul, because he said there's no way a trained fighter is gonna lose to a YouTube celebrity.
Yeah, I stand by that point.
Yeah.
I stand by that point. My point was Ben Askren came back too quickly from that bloody hip injury he's got. that hip
No,
surgery,
no. You saw his
and that
hands.
bothers me.
No. You saw his hands.
Then I saw. No, I'm saying to you, there's a build up to it. That was the first part. The second part, then I saw it hitting meat and bags, and I forgot that this brother is worse than Stephen A. Smith. I thought, no, what's going on here, man? You know what I mean? Are you a professional fighter? You hitting bags like this, bro? Like, come on, dog. You know, come on, man. What's a brother to do? You know what I mean? I left Dante right there, bro. I left him there. I had to save. I had to save my pocket. You know.
Yeah,
But now, but now I see a little things are changing. This is a nuance thing. Things are changing. I'm liking what I'm seeing again. So you might find me back at that table, bro. You might find me back at that table. You know what I mean? onto the last one, Sandhagen TJ Dillashaw. Right, this is a fight that I'm excited about, man. I'm buzzing about this fight. TJ Dillashaw, Sandhagen. Will,
Yeah.
I know you like Sandman.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
He will fuck TJ Dillashaw up. I hope so. Anyway, I hope so. I don't know what's gonna happen. I like Dillashaw too. I ain't got a problem with Dillashaw. Killashaw, I like Killashaw. That's my guy too. But Sandhagen, I just feel like I have to carry that mantle because I got this, like, when Aljamain beat him up, I got ridiculed on this page. Ola ridiculed me a lot. So I feel like I've got to ride for Sandhagen. I've got to be the only guy in this group that rides for Sandhagen. None of you should tag along to him because all of you picked Aljamain. When he won, you shitted on me. Not so much so, Chig. You much more, Ola. You shitted on me.
It's a different fight, dog.
There we go.
I shit on every fight, every other fight, bro. You know what I mean? If I have to dump your ass, I'm gonna dump your ass, bro.
You know what?
I mean?
That's all. That's what I'm gonna say to you. That's it.
Bro, that's for the points, man.
Oh,
Chig, TJ Dillashaw Sandhagen, man. How you feeling about that?
I hope Cody wins. Purely on the basis that I think he'll be a tougher test for Pyotr Yang than I think TJ will be.
Nah,
I think TJ loses to Yang.
TJ will beat Yan down. He'll beat Yan. He's different. He's different, you know.
I don't think so. I think a younger, less drugged up TJ might, but I think I don't see it. I think Yan beats him.
Killashaw.
I don't think there's any more Killashaw, brother. I don't think so. I think people are watching him now. People are watching him. Yeah, maybe Killashaw was in the needle. Killashaw was in that needle.
Yo, Chig. Be respectful to the fighters, Chig.
Fuck him.
Soon we might have some fights on our show, so be respectful.
Listen.
Nah, he got popped, man. He got popped, man. You know what I mean? He got popped.
When it comes to cheaters,
I love Dillashaw. I love Dillashaw, but you know what I mean? I zero tolerance on that shit, man. If I give it to Jones, he's got to get it. You know what I mean? It's simple as that. I don't care how good you are. I don't care how much I like you. You get popped for that shit. But you know what? He should have done that Usher song with him, man. These are my confessions. Like, this brother came out confessing the shit before they even announced it, man. I thought, Jesus Christ. Like, you're making us look bad out here, man. We fucking with you, brother.
Another dominance MMA.
Huh? No. It's not for us, man. It's not for us.
It's Cody Garbrandt. It's Cody.
Oh no, yes, of course, yes.
Cody Garbrandt.
It's Cody. That's the one. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, man. That's not our guy, man.
Now to the boxing.
To the boxing.
No. I'm gonna ask you one more question. And the chat can get involved with it as well, real quick.
Go on.
Look back at some of the MMA fights that you've seen. If there's, say, 3 fights that you could change the result to what you feel it should be, what fights would those be?
Oh, it's easy. Easy for me. First one, Valentina Shevchenko.
Good
Oh
choice.
my
Nunes.
God, that's a really good
The
choice.
second fight,
Yeah.
not
How
the
did
first
I
fight.
know?
Second fight. Also Jon Jones, Gustafsson, the first fight, and then Jon Jones, Reyes. Those
And
are
then those are really good shouts. What
Good
about you,
shout.
Chig?
Gosh, I kind of agree with all of those. The only one that I'd probably throw in there. I would have loved Thug Rose to have beaten what's her name? The girl that's got a title shot. Andrade.
Andrade.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
The first fight. I know Rose won the second fight. Barely, but won the second fight. But the first fight, I think I would have loved Rose to.
Because she had
I would
that
have
in
loved
that
Rose to have
armbar,
had a
innit?
run.
She had
Yeah.
that armbar was locked in.
Yeah. But
That's a good call. You got any more, Chig? Will, can you
there's
put your
nothing
thing on
really
mute?
that's.
There's a feedback coming from your mic.
Honorary mention for me. I'd say Connor, Nate too. Honorary mention.
Okay.
A good one.
Ola won't like me to say this.
I don't mind. Let's hear it.
Khabib Poirier.
Another honorary mention. Yeah, Khabib. You know where I'm going with this, don't you, Ola? Khabib. Who? Khabib versus who?
I don't know what you're talking about. You're talking about this right here.
Khabib versus who? No.
What you're talking about right here?
Khabib versus who? Who's Khabib lost to?
Oh, what? Tiba? Oh, come on, dog. Come on.
Honorary mention.
Come on, man. La Tiba, man. Leave it out. All right. Yeah, you know what? Dante just put a good one there. Holloway Volkanovski.
That too.
That's a big one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
That's a very good one.
For me, Askren Masvidal. That hurt me so bad. I hyped up that shit.
No way. No. Because I told all of that.
If I could change the outcome of that fight, it doesn't end like that. It's what I'm trying to say to you. Like, it doesn't end like that, man. Bro, that fight there hurt me bad. Second one, I can't even. This one gets stuck up there. Conor Cowboy, Jesus Christ! like, where do I start with that fight? What
was the fight?
Conor
Cowboy. Cerrone. I'm telling you, bro.
Ola lost 200 quid in 17 seconds.
If I had the power to change that fight wouldn't go like that. And my final one involves Conor again. People say I love Conor, but hey,
Aldo.
Conor Aldo. I've
never let
never let that go from day one, bro. How that brother ain't got no rematch. It's a criminal offense. You know what I mean?
Because of how he got knocked out. You didn't even fucking do anything. 30 seconds.
Yeah.
For after the world tour, they've gone world tour. You fucked up. You fucked up your or whatever injury or whatever it is, and then you come back and get knocked out in 30 seconds. You can't have a rematch after that.
That's some good, but everybody put in some good mentions there. You know what I mean? Thank you. Honorary one, Bisping Gastelum, the one that happened in China. If I could persuade Bisping not to go and do that fight,
yeah.
Like, come on,
2 weeks. After he got choked
that
out.
was needless. After you got done by GSP, man, like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Not sure why he did that.
It's crazy. It's crazy. He got sparked the hell out. You know, Bisping Gastelum. That's another one. So there you have it. There you have it, people. We wanted to touch on Dylan White and what happens next with him. Take it away,
Yeah.
Chig.
So, for anyone who doesn't know, Dillian White faced Alexandra Povetkin, who beat him probably about 4 or 5 months earlier in a shock result, where Povetkin knocked him out in the fifth round, sixth round. Dillian, as a result, lost his number one contendership. He lost everything in that fight. And fair play to Povetkin. Povetkin said immediately, listen, if you want a rematch and put everything else on the line again, we'll do it. Let's do it. And if it wasn't because of COVID, and I think Povetkin had COVID for a hot second, and there were loads of little delays and stuff, that fight would have happened way before it actually did. But then it happened last week. Dillian looked fantastic. He looked absolutely fantastic. Looked actually better than he did in the first fight, where he dominated the first fight. And ended up knocking him out within 4 rounds. And actually, to be honest, made him look like an old man in the end, Povetkin. He really, to the point where I watched the fight, and I thought, oh, gosh, maybe it's time for Povetkin to call this a day, because he looked really old at the end of that fight.
Going back to our question of Povetkin versus Chisora, who would you pick now?
It's definitely more of a discussion.
Will's basking in that shit for a minute.
No.
Enjoy.
Because me and Chig, yeah, are boxing guys, right? So it surprises me with how he jumps at chance with things when we've got a long history to go from. Ola, you don't have a long history to go from. We do. We've got hundreds of years to go from. Do you get what I'm saying? So it sometimes surprises me with certain things he says, considering when you've watched the whole history of boxing. That's why I kind of, when it comes to boxing, I'm kind of on your neck in a way, Chig. That's why, unfortunately, yeah, I'm like that with someone who knows boxing too.
But here's the thing. I still have not changed my mind, but it's definitely more of a conversation. I'm not reactionary based on a fight that I would have seen. Mm-hmm. But it certainly brings your point into clearer view when you just see a performance like that from Povetkin, because it wasn't a good performance. He was dominated. I give Dillian more credit for that than anything else. But by the end of that fight, yes, I must confess, I looked at it and I thought to myself, oh gosh, if I'm Povetkin, I call this a day before I get seriously hurt. Yeah, I don't know. I think to myself now, I guess it's interesting to see where you plan Dillian's career, because lots of people are talking about the W word for him.
Well, say. I'm not.
Lots of people are talking about Ortiz. Well, I still think Ortiz beats him. I think Ortiz is a bit technical for him. I don't know. It's difficult. I think for me, I wouldn't mind seeing. He's talking a lot about who's the guy that has this WBA regular belt that he keeps talking about, which is basically like it's not an interim belt, but it's more like it's a gateway belt to a world title.
Yeah. He's got a WBA. Joshua's got a WBA.
Yeah, and he basically wants to fight him, but I don't know. I think with Dillian, rest. I'd like to see him rest, because obviously the one thing that came out of the fight last week was, I don't know if you guys saw this. My man had a hamstring injury. Literally, he had a hamstring injury. When he came through the dressing room, they'd strapped his legs so tightly that when they were trying to take off the strapping, he was like, oh, easy. So clearly he'd suffered a major injury going into this fight, and that was the reason why Dillian White had to just end this fight quickly. So Yeah, fair play to him. 'Cause talk about a risk, knowing that you have an injury already and you're trying to take on a guy that's previously knocked you out. So it was very, very ballsy. But yeah, if I'm Dillian now, I'm just chilling, relaxing, and if they pay me enough to take on a Wilder, to take on Ortiz, I still don't like. I keep calling him Ortiz. It's not Ortiz. It's Ruiz. If they pay me enough to take on a Ruiz, then I might consider
I
it.
knew what you meant. Oh.
Wilder would be the fight in terms of profile, but it's still a bit risky if my ultimate aim is for a world title. So he's in a tricky spot. There's no doubt about it. The heavyweight division is effectively on hold.
How is
until
it? If you knock Wilder out, yeah, you got everybody watching you now.
Yeah, but here's the thing: if you're Dillian White, you want to become world champ, right?
Yeah, but if you knock Wilder out, everyone will be calling for you to go for the title shot. If you knock Wilder out, everybody will just think about that.
But do you not think that's happening already?
I don't know. Well, the two giants are gonna fight, and then after that, who's for them? That's what I'm saying. So the aftermath, yeah, it looks like so far from what I'm seeing, it's only Wilder who's there. Someone needs to join Wilder.
I think what will probably end up happening is we know it's a 2-fight deal, so they'll fight for all the belts for the first fight, and then the second fight, a couple of those belts are going to get relinquished anyway. It's going to have to be the WBO. Most likely, and then maybe one other. In which case, you would think that Dillian White will probably try and put his name around for one of them. But yeah, I don't know. I think you're right. I think probably the fight that makes the most sense is Wilder. Does he chase it? That's the question. Who needs who more? I guess that's the ultimate question. Well, because either way, Dillian White has a title fight.
Yeah,
Wilder doesn't.
Yeah, but you got to look at it this way. Yeah, when them two are done, the people they would want any of them. Well, if Tyson Fury doesn't win, the person who they'd want him to face would not be Dillian White. It won't be Dillian White. They would want Joshua to face, Wilder.
Yeah,
and so that's what I'm saying. So if you clear Wilder now, you get rid of Wilder now. Then you don't have to think about it. You get what I mean? Because this way, fight Wilder in between their two fights.
Yeah.
Fight Wilder in between their two fights. And then if you beat Wilder, then it's just you. Then as soon as the second fight's done, you already know you got a fight made because you've already cleared out the other guy, the other outstanding guy. I don't know how much people are talking about Ruiz to be the next guy to go for a title shot. So it's more Wilder, more people are talking about for title shot. So if I was him, I'd clear out Wilder first, and then yeah. No, he can't. Ngannou can't beat any of the top 3 heavyweights. No, he can't. He's not a boxer, and you see how tired he got in the first round. They will swallow him whole. They're used to punching. They're used to their arms being up for that long, for over 36 minutes. UFC fight maximum is 25 minutes. And we all know Ngannou cannot do more than 15 minutes in the ring. So what do you think is going to happen to Ngannou when he fights any of the top 3 heavyweights? I think it's going to be a disaster for Ngannou if he doesn't catch him quickly. And because they're boxers and they're used to dodging punches, it's going to be bad for Ngannou.
To answer Judah PT's question, I've just seen your question, bro, and I'll come back to you, Nico, in a second. No, I don't. I think he causes him problems, but I think in the end, White beats him for sure. I didn't like Ortiz's second fight against Wilder. I thought he looked really old towards the end of that fight. I think very, very similar to the Povetkin fight. I think in the end, White would win. And I just think it's an unnecessary risk for White to take. So I wouldn't want to see White do that. And in terms of yourself, Nico, just like with anything, You know, just like with any big knockout artist, they present a threat to a certain extent, but like Will says, you know, these are trained boxers that are designed to manage knockout threats, you know, and he doesn't have his kicks. He would only have that knockout swing power. Yes, he has a great jab, he has a good reach, and he has a knockout power, but
that's not
he doesn't.
enough.
But that's it. He doesn't have. I wouldn't even say he has amazing footwork. I don't think he paces himself properly during a round, which is why I criticize his footwork. And I think ultimately, whilst I'm not as harsh as what Will says in terms of lasting a certain period of time, I do think they would manage it a lot better than some of the UFC guys. You know, UFC have never seen someone so ferocious like that. Boxers see ferocious guys all the time. And mind you, in the gym, never mind in the professional life, they see ferocious fighters in the gym all the time. So, yeah, there's a reason why Francis is in UFC and not in boxing. Let's put it that way.
Because he started boxing first.
Because he started in boxing. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I think that's it. That's brought us to the end of to this week's show. I think we've covered everything this week. We still got a card to look forward to next week. Actually,
I like GWPT's thing you just put there.
right handles.
White man handles.
Man handles Wilder.
Ed Ruiz.
Ruiz too, huh? You think so?
I just think people.
The Ruiz one, I'm less sure about. But the Wilder one, yes, I agree with you. Ruiz, I'm less sure about. I must admit. I think Ruiz is dangerous.
I think people are in for a rude awakening when they put their buck on White to do him a favor like that, like beating either Wilder or Ruiz. I just feel like, okay, I'll just wait till it happens. I hope it does happen so people will see. But yeah, we'll see.
It'd be interesting, to be fair, and you guys know I don't particularly have a lot of time for Wilder, but to be fair, there's a lot of people talk a lot about how, you know, White has learned this, White, the X person has learned how to do this, has brought this new to the table. Are we assuming that Wilder's not learned anything in his last 18 months?
Yeah,
because I would have assumed.
No. Yeah, we are assuming. Come on, let's be honest.
I would have assumed that this guy would be learning something.
From what his coach said.
I would have assumed, especially you've made this huge stand to sack one of your respected longtime coaches. You've faced an almighty amount of criticism. You've had an embarrassing loss. Not because he lost to Tyson Fury. It's just all the stupid excuses he's come out with since, right? So I would have hoped that his plan after that would be, right, let me try to do something new going into this fight. Like, I can't keep going through fights relying on a knockout that may not come, because what if it doesn't come? So I would have hoped that he would add something new to his arsenal. So I think it is let's even shit out. You know, we have to be fair. Just, you said yourself, GWPT, you saw something new from Dillian White. I would expect to see something new from Wilder too.
I don't. I don't.
So, whereas you say that Ruiz only has fast hands, that's the problem. Dillian White's not a particularly quick reflexer, and where he gets himself in trouble is he takes stupid shots. And then suddenly, you know, listen, I like the brother a lot, but he doesn't have the strongest chin. So that's why I would expect Ruiz to have more success. But I don't know. Nico reckons that Wilder will come with a bang. Yes, I agree. Wilder's footwork is shit. I do agree with that. I don't think White's is the best though. If you want me to be real. White loses to Wilder. Wilder chilling. He ain't training, bro. No chance. There is no chance this brother is just chilling and is not in the gym at all. No chance. I don't look at Wilder for all his mad ramblings. This is not a man I look at and I think, A, he looks out of shape because he doesn't. And B, this is not someone I look at and think, oh, he's not training in the gym at all. No chance on earth. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Let me stop rabbiting.
Yeah. I agree with whatever Chig just said right now.
Yeah, Will is not letting the world the world of why they're triggering this week, man. I like it. I like it. We've seen something new from Will. Even if we can see something new from Will, maybe we can see something new from Wilder
No,
as well.
I'm about to show you why I
Mm.
don't like. I'm about to show you guys why I don't care. I latched onto certain things that you thought I cared about, but now I'm about to show you why I really don't care about these fighters. I really don't.
And Diego is a real rascal devil. But there you go. Anyways, yeah, we've come to the end of the show. Thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for hanging around. If you're new on the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, share it. Bring your friends to the show. We're trying to grow out here. And every week we come. One thing we've shown, 'cause I went back and look at how many videos we've done. Is we've been really, really consistent. You know, we'll put out consistent content every week for you guys. So this is what we love to do, and we do it because of you. And thank you very much for sticking with us. And yeah, Chig, take us up.
Yeah. All right, guys, you know what we do. In answer to your question, Nico, AJ, of course. Yes, please do stick a like on this video before you guys head out of here. Hopefully you've enjoyed our discussion today. Can't believe it. This is one of our longest shows and there's not been an event this week, so we've really stretched it out today. But hopefully it was a good discussion piece. So hopefully you guys really enjoyed the show. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Share this video around. We'll be back next week, 9:30 as always. And please enjoy your Easter holiday. Enjoy your Easter, and we'll see you next week. Take care.
Peace.
R.I.P. Claude.
R.I.P.